It was a cold, gray morning in the small town of Willowbrook. The streets were quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. The town had seen better days. Its once thriving community had dwindled over the years, leaving behind empty storefronts and abandoned homes. But amidst the desolation, there was a glimmer of hope, a story of compassion that would soon touch the hearts of many. In a narrow alley behind an old bakery, a group of stray cats huddled together for warmth. Their fur was matted, their ribs visible beneath their thin frames. They were starving, desperate for food and shelter. Among them was a small black and white cat named Luna. She was the leader of the group, fiercely protective of her companions despite her own frailty. Luna had been on the streets for as long as she could remember, scavenging for scraps and dodging danger at every turn. Emily knelt down and gently called out to them. At first the cats were wary, their instincts telling them to flee, but there was something about Emily's voice, a kindness they hadn't encountered in a long time. Luna was the first to approach, her green eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. "Hey there, little one," Emily whispered, extending her hand. "You're safe now." Over the next few days, Emily returned to the alley with food and water. She brought blankets to keep the cats warm and even built a makeshift shelter to protect them from the rain. Slowly but surely, the cats began to trust her. Luna, in particular, grew attached to Emily, following her around like a shadow. Word of Emily's kindness spread quickly through the town. People who had once turned a blind eye to the stray cats began to take notice. Some brought food and supplies, while others offered to help care for the animals. The community, once divided by hardship, came together in a way no one had thought possible. But Emily knew that feeding the cats was only a temporary solution. They needed proper care, medical attention, vaccinations, and most importantly, loving homes. With the help of a local veterinarian, she organized a fundraiser to cover the costs of spaying and neutering the cats. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in from near and far, and soon Emily had enough money to start a small shelter. But for Emily, the greatest reward was seeing the transformation in the cats she had rescued. They were no longer scared and starving. They were thriving, their eyes bright with joy and gratitude. And as she looked at Luna, curled up contentedly in her lap, Emily knew that one small act of kindness had indeed changed everything. Emily's story is a powerful reminder of the impact one person can have on the lives of others, both human and animal. Her decision to help the stray cats not only saved their lives, but also brought a unique and appropriate name. But Emily knew that Luna's story was just the beginning. There were still countless stray animals in Willowbrook and beyond who needed help. Determined to make a lasting impact, she decided to expand Luna's Haven into a full-fledged animal rescue organization. With the support of the community, she secured a larger facility and began taking in not just cats, but dogs, rabbits, and even injured wildlife. The shelter, which she named Luna's Haven, became a sanctuary for stray and abandoned animals. Volunteers from the community pitched in to help, and before long, the cats were healthy, happy, and ready for adoption. Luna, of course, was the first to find a forever home, with Emily, who had grown to love her dearly. The story of Luna and her friends touched the hearts of people far beyond Willowbrook. News outlets picked up the story, and Emily's act of kindness inspired others to take action in their own communities. Animal shelters saw an increase in adoptions, and donations to animal welfare organizations soared. The cats had grown accustomed to the indifference of the townsfolk. People passed by without a second glance, too preoccupied with their own struggles to notice the suffering around them. But that was about to change. One day, as Luna and her friends rummaged through a trash bin in search of food, a young woman named Emily happened to walk by. Emily was new to Willowbrook, having moved there to escape the chaos of city life. She had always had a soft spot for animals, and the sight of the starving cats broke her heart. Emily often reflected on the ripple effect of her actions. That one decision to help a group of starving cats had set off a chain reaction, touching countless lives in ways she could never have imagined. It wasn't just about the animals. It was about the people who had been inspired to be kinder, more compassionate, and more aware of the world around them. She thought about the children who had visited Luna's Haven and gone home to beg their parents to adopt a rescue animal. She thought about the volunteers who had found purpose and friendship through their work at the shelter. And she thought about the countless animals who had been given a second chance at life. As Emily stood in the courtyard of Luna's Haven, watching the animals play and the volunteers laugh, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had come to Willowbrook searching for peace, but she had found so much more. She had found her purpose, her community, and her family. Luna, now an old but content cat, curled up at Emily's feet. Emily knelt down to stroke her fur, tears welling up in her eyes. "Thank you, Luna," she whispered. you changed everything." Emily knew that her work was far from over. There were still so many animals in need, so many people to inspire, and so much more to be done. But she also knew that she wasn't alone. She had an entire community and a global network of animal lovers standing beside her. As she looked to the future, Emily dreamed of a world where every animal had a loving home, where kindness was the norm, and where no one ever had to hear the cry of a starving cat again. It was a big dream, but Emily had learned that even the smallest acts of kindness could lead to extraordinary change. Running an animal rescue organization was not without its challenges. Emily faced countless obstacles, from funding shortages to heartbreaking cases of animal abuse. One particularly difficult day, one of the most remarkable aspects of Luna's Haven was the way it brought people together. The shelter became a place where people from all walks of life could connect over their shared love for animals. There was Mr. Thompson, a retired teacher who spent his mornings reading to the cats, Maria, a high school student who dreamed of becoming a veterinarian, and even the local police officer, who often stopped by to check on the animals and share stories of his own rescue dog. The sense of community extended beyond Willowbrook. Emily's story had gone viral, and people from across the country reached out to offer support. Some sent donations, while others shared their own stories of rescuing animals. Emily realized that she was part of a much larger movement, a global network of people working to make the world a better place for animals. As the years passed, Luna grew older, but her spirit remained as vibrant as ever. She became the official mascot of Luna's Haven, greeting visitors with a gentle purr and a nudge of her head. Her story inspired countless others to adopt rescue animals, and she even had a children's book written about her life. But Luna's greatest legacy was the impact she had on Emily. Through her journey with Luna, Emily discovered her purpose in life. She had always felt lost, unsure of what she was meant to do. But caring for Luna and the other animals gave her a sense of fulfillment she had never known. She realized that her calling was to be a voice for the voiceless, to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. With Luna's Haven thriving, Emily decided to take her mission to the next level. She began partnering with other animal rescue organizations to address the root causes of animal homelessness. She launched spay and neuter programs to reduce the number of stray animals, and worked with local governments to implement stricter penalties for animal abuse. Emily also started an education initiative, visiting schools and community centers to teach people about responsible pet ownership. She believed that prevention was just as important as rescue, and she was determined to create a future where no animal would have to suffer. Emily's work didn't go unnoticed. She was invited to speak at conferences and events around the world, sharing her story and inspiring others to take action. Her TED Talk, titled "One Act of Kindness: How Saving a Cat Changed My Life," went viral, reaching millions of viewers and sparking a global conversation about animal welfare. People from all corners of the globe reached out to Emily, sharing their own stories of rescuing animals and asking for advice on how to start their own shelters. Emily realized that her journey had come full circle. What had started as a simple act of kindness had grown into a worldwide movement. Emily's story is a powerful reminder of the impact one person can have on the lives of others, both human and animal. Her decision to help the stray cats not only saved their lives, but also brought alive to Eliza and the people she knew. But Emily knew that Luna's story was just the beginning. There were still countless stray animals in Willowbrook and beyond who needed help. Determined to make a lasting impact, she decided to expand Luna's Haven into a full-fledged animal rescue organization. With the support of the community, she secured a larger facility and began taking in not just cats, but dogs, rabbits, and even injured wildlife. The shelter quickly became a hub of activity. Volunteers from all walks of life came together to clean cages, feed the animals, and organize adoption events. Local schools even started bringing students to the shelter to teach them about compassion and responsibility. Emily's dream of creating a kinder world was slowly becoming a reality.